For centuries, humanity was nothing more than a footnote in the annals of the galactic hierarchy. When the Zalari Empire discovered Earth, they saw nothing but weak creatures, fragile bodies, inferior technology, and an absence of unified leadership. The Zalari, towering insectoid beings with chitinous armor and venomous claws, deemed humans unworthy of citizenship. Instead, they enslaved them. Millions were taken, scientists, engineers, soldiers, even children, all forced into labor camps across barren worlds. The Zalari overlords relished in their dominance, using advanced neural inhibitors to break the human spirit. Resistance was futile. Escape was impossible. Hope was a dangerous fantasy. And yet, humanity had a peculiar trait that the Zalari failed to understand. They could adapt. On the mining colony of Zareth 9, a group of enslaved humans whispered of rebellion. Among them was Jonas Cade, a former aerospace engineer turned prisoner. Cade had seen horrors, families torn apart, friends reduced to mere numbers in the system, but he had also seen something else. Humans were not breaking, they were learning. Studying the weaknesses of their masters. Memorizing security patterns. Testing the limits of the inhibitors. Cade wasn't alone. Dr. Yelena Vasquez, a geneticist from Earth, had secretly been working on a way to counteract the neural inhibitors. If they could disable them, even for a few moments, humans could fight back. It was a slim hope, but hope was all they had. One night, the opportunity came. A Zalari warden named Overseer Zarek made a mistake. He underestimated the prisoners. A faulty security drone was left unattended, and Cade seized his chance. With a stolen plasma torch, he and his team cut through the maintenance corridor, reaching the camp's power grid. Vasquez uploaded a viral override into the system, one that disabled the inhibitors just long enough. The moment the pain in their heads faded, humanity did what it did best. They fought back. The uprising was swift, brutal, and unlike anything the Zalari had anticipated. Armed with stolen shock rifles and mining tools, the humans overwhelmed their guards. The Zalari, unaccustomed to fighting an enemy that refused to submit, faltered. Overseer Zarek barely escaped with his life as the prisoners overran the compound. But the war had just begun. As Cade and his people seized control of Zareth 9, they sent out a message, a warning to the galaxy. We were slaves. Now we are free. And we will never bow again. Little did they know, their defiance had sparked something much greater, a chain reaction that would shake the entire galaxy. The stars above Zareth 9 burned with unnatural intensity, their light illuminating the wreckage of the once-feared Zalari labor camp. For the first time in over a century, this barren mining world was free of its alien overlords. But freedom was fragile. Jonas Cade stood atop a ruined watchtower, scanning the horizon. The cold wind carried the scent of burnt chitin, remnants of the Zalari corpses littering the ground. The rebellion's first victory had been hard-won, but he knew it was only a matter of time before the Zalari Empire responded. And when they did, it wouldn't be with chains. It would be with fire. Below, humans worked tirelessly to fortify their stolen stronghold. Engineers stripped down Zalari weapons for parts, medics tended to the wounded, and makeshift strike teams trained with captured shock rifles. They were survivors, not soldiers, but that was about to change. Dr. Yelena Vasquez approached Cade, her face grim. We have a problem, she said, holding up a stolen data pad. Intercepted transmissions from the Zalari fleet. They know about the uprising. How long do we have? Cade asked. 2 weeks, at most. The nearest Zalari war fleet is en route. And Cade, they're not coming to recapture us. They're coming to exterminate us. Cade clenched his fists. He had expected retaliation, but not this fast. The Zalari weren't going to waste time with another occupation. They were coming to erase humanity's defiance from the galaxy. We can't fight a fleet, Vasquez continued. Not with what we have. Cade exhaled. Then we won't fight them head-on. We need allies. The call for rebellion. That night, a signal was sent out, a desperate call across the stars. It was encoded, hidden among the interstellar noise of Zalari transmissions. A simple message, broadcast to every known human labor camp. We are free. Zareth 9 is ours. The Zalari can be defeated. Rise up. The response was immediate. From the outer colonies to the heart of Zalari territory, whispers of the uprising spread like wildfire. Hidden human resistance cells, long dormant in fear of their alien masters, received the message. In the shadows of the galaxy, slaves turned into revolutionaries. But the rebellion would need more than just courage. They needed firepower. The first mission, stealing a warship. A week later, Cade and a team of elite fighters set their sights on a nearby Zalari outpost, the Gorgoth shipyard, an orbital facility where Zalari warships were refitted and repaired. The plan was bold: infiltrate, hijack a battleship, and use it to defend Zareth 9. The operation was risky. Zalari security was tight, and failure meant death. But Cade had something the Zalari never anticipated. Humans were unpredictable. Using stolen access codes and the element of surprise, Cade's team infiltrated the shipyard. Leon Hayes, a former pilot, hacked into the docking systems, shutting down internal sensors. Arya Voss, a demolitions expert, planted charges to create distractions. The team moved like ghosts through the facility, eliminating guards with brutal efficiency. Then, they found their prize, a Zalari dreadnought, fully armed, docked for routine maintenance. As alarms blared, Cade and his team stormed the bridge, taking control of the vessel. The ship's AI resisted, locking down weapons and navigation, but Vasquez remotely uploaded a virus, overriding the systems. For the first time in history, humans had control of a Zalari warship. As they disengaged from the shipyard, a Zalari patrol fleet scrambled to intercept. Plasma cannons lit up the void, energy blasts tearing through the darkness. Cade took the helm. Let's see how these bastards like being on the other end of the whip. With a single command, the dreadnought's railguns roared to life, tearing through the enemy ships with merciless precision. The Zalari had never considered the possibility of humans commanding their own war machines. By the time the dreadnought jumped to hyperspace, leaving the burning wreckage of the shipyard behind, the message was clear. Humanity was no longer just fighting for survival. They were coming for vengeance. The Zalari High Command convened in a towering obsidian spire, deep within their homeworld of Zalzoreth. The chamber pulsed with bioluminescent veins running along the walls, casting eerie green light on the warlords gathered around the holographic display. The image flickered, an urgent transmission from the Gorgoth shipyard. A stolen dreadnought. An annihilated patrol fleet. A human uprising spreading like wildfire. The overlord seethed. This was beyond rebellion, it was an infection. Grand Marshal Cthur, a behemoth of a Zalari with razor-edged mandibles, stepped forward, his voice a guttural snarl. 4 generations, the humans have been slaves, and now, they defy us? He slammed his clawed fist onto the control panel. This insult cannot stand. A smaller, more calculating Zalari, Overlord Syvex, studied the reports carefully. They are unpredictable. The ones on Zareth 9 should have been broken long ago. Instead, they evolved. His mandibles clicked thoughtfully. It seems we have underestimated their potential. Cthur growled. Then we burn them to ash. The decision was made. The 5th Armada, a fleet of 60 warships, was mobilized. Their mission: eradicate the humans of Zareth 9. No survivors. No mercy. But as the Zalari fleet departed, they had no idea that humanity had already set their own trap. The storm before the battle. On Zareth 9, the stolen dreadnought, now renamed the Revenant, hovered above the planet, its formidable weapons online. Jonas Cade stood on the bridge, watching the fleet preparations unfold. We've got maybe a week before they arrive, said Leon Hayes, the pilot. And even with this dreadnought, we're still outnumbered 10 to 1. Cade turned to Dr. Yelena Vasquez, who was analyzing stolen Zalari data. "We don't need to outgun them," she said, "just outthink them." Her plan was simple but audacious. The Zalari expected a slaughter, not a battle. But what if the battlefield was rigged before they even arrived? Using Zalari technology, the rebels repurposed the mining world's deep space energy drills, transforming them into makeshift planetary defense cannons. They reprogrammed orbital drones into kamikaze bombers. They laced the asteroid belt with hidden explosives, ***, a minefield of planetary proportions, ***. Every moment counted. Fighters were trained. Weapons were scavenged. The humans on Zereth 9 were no longer prisoners. They were soldiers. And when the Zalari fleet finally arrived, they walked straight into hell. The Battle of Zereth 9. The Zalari Fifth Armada descended upon the planet in a perfect war formation, their capital ships blotting out the stars. The fleet's commander, Admiral Vorkesh, issued a single command: exterminate them. The first barrage of plasma torpedoes rained down, but as they neared the surface, the planetary defenses activated. From deep beneath the crust of Zereth 9, the repurposed mining cannons erupted with raw energy, tearing through the Zalari formation. Ships that had once delivered death now delivered vengeance. Then, from the asteroid belt, the mines detonated, entire Zalari warships shattered into debris, caught in the chain reaction of explosions. Admiral Vorkesh roared in fury. How is this possible? They're slaves. Scum. But the true horror had yet to begin. As the Zalari fleet scrambled to reform their attack, the Revenant emerged from the shadows of the battlefield. The stolen dreadnought fired all cannons at once, slicing through the Zalari lines like a blade through flesh. Cade's voice rang out over an open channel. "This is Jonas Cade. You took our planet. You took our people. Now, we're taking everything from you." Then, like ghosts in the void, human strike teams launched boarding attacks on the Zalari warships. Armed with scavenged weapons, they stormed the bridges, disabled shields, sabotaged reactors. For the first time in their history, the Zalari were the ones afraid. The battle raged for hours. The sky above Zereth 9 burned. The humans fought like demons, relentless, unyielding. By the time it was over, half the Zalari fleet was destroyed. The rest fled, ***. Against all odds, Zereth 9 had survived. The Empire trembles. In the aftermath, as the rebels counted their dead and repaired their ships, a new reality took hold. The Zalari had come to crush a rebellion; instead, they had created a revolution. Whispers spread across the galaxy. In every labor camp, humans rose up. The war had begun. And back on Zalzoreth, the Zalari High Command watched in silence. For the first time in their empire's long history, they knew fear. The Battle of Zereth 9 had been a miracle, a victory that should have been impossible. But Jonas Cade knew the truth: the war had only just begun. As the humans scavenged the wreckage of the Zalari Fifth Armada, engineers worked tirelessly to repair damaged ships. Every salvaged plasma cannon, every scrap of armor, every piece of alien technology was repurposed for war. Humanity was no longer just fighting for survival. Now, they were preparing to win, ***. But Cade also knew that the Zalari wouldn't make the same mistake twice. The next attack would be overwhelming. If the rebellion didn't strike first, it wouldn't survive. The time had come to go on the offensive. The hunt for Jonas Cade. Deep within the Zalari homeworld of Zalzoreth, the High Command watched in seething silence. The mighty Fifth Armada had been shattered, and the humans had proven themselves far more dangerous than expected. The Zalari overlords had underestimated their former slaves. They would not make that mistake again. Grand Marshal Kthur stood before his war council, his massive form trembling with barely restrained fury. Cade and his rebels have humiliated us. They have stolen our warships, turned our own weapons against us. The Empire will not tolerate such insolence. A deep, guttural voice echoed from the shadows. Then let me handle this. The Zalari turned as Overlord Malash stepped forward. Unlike his kin, Malash was different. He was no mere warlord, but a hunter, a tactician. He had spent centuries eliminating threats to the Empire before they could grow. Now, he had a new target, Jonas Cade. The humans have proven resourceful, Malash admitted. But they are still primitive. Predictable. Their leader is their greatest strength, and their greatest weakness. He activated a holographic display, revealing a massive warship, **** the Doombringer, **** a planet-killer dreadnought. I will bring an end to their rebellion, and I will present Cade's broken body before the High Command. Cthulhu nodded. Then go. Show them the price of defiance. As the council adjourned, Malash allowed himself a cruel smile. The humans had no idea what was coming. The infiltration of Prime 66. Meanwhile, back on the Revenant, Cade and his top officers debated their next move. We can't just sit here, said Leon Hayes, the pilot. They'll send everything they have at us. And they'll target Cade first, Vasquez added. Without leadership, the rebellion could crumble. Cade knew they were right. If they stayed on Zareth 9, the Zalari would eventually overwhelm them. But what if instead of waiting for the Zalari, they struck at the Empire's heart? Cade pointed to a star map. This is Prime 66, a hidden research station deep in Zalari space. According to the data we pulled from the shipyard, they've been experimenting on human captives, trying to create bio-enhanced warriors. His eyes hardened. If we can free those prisoners, we gain reinforcements. If we can destroy their research, we cripple their plans. The mission was agreed upon. 3 days later, the Revenant and a strike team of stolen Zalari ships slipped into enemy space. Using stolen access codes, they breached Prime 66's outer defenses without raising alarms. Cade, Vasquez, and a team of elite fighters infiltrated the facility, moving through its cold metallic corridors with practiced efficiency. What they found inside sent chills down their spines. Hundreds of human prisoners, but they weren't normal anymore. They had been experimented on, augmented with alien implants, their eyes glowing with unnatural energy. Some were dead. Others were barely alive. One of them, a frail woman with sunken features, looked up at Cade, whispering, "You came, we thought no one would come." Rage burned in Cade's veins. No more. They set explosives throughout the lab and released the surviving prisoners. But before they could escape, *** alarms blared, ***. Zalari reinforcements had arrived. Malash arrives. As Cade's team raced toward the hangar, an enormous shadow descended over Prime 66. The Doombringer had arrived. On the bridge, Overlord Malash observed the station below, his mandibles clicking with amusement. So, the rebels think they can steal from us again? Not this time. With a single command, he activated the Dreadnought's planet-killer cannon. Inside Prime 66, Vasquez's eyes widened as she looked at the security feeds. Cade, that ship, it's charging a superweapon. It'll destroy the entire station. Cade's mind raced. The mission had changed. It wasn't just about escaping anymore. They had to destroy the Doombringer. The turning point. As Zalari forces poured into the corridors, Cade's strike team fought their way to their stolen ships. Explosions rocked the station as their charges detonated, tearing through alien machinery. The Revenant is inbound for extraction, Leon's voice crackled through comms. But Cade had one final move to play. Instead of retreating, he turned to Vasquez. Take the survivors and get out of here. Vasquez's eyes widened. Cade, what are you? I'm going after Malash. Before she could argue, Cade sprinted toward the Zalari command tower, cutting down enemy soldiers as he went. He wasn't just going to escape. He was going to kill their best hunter. Jonas Cade moved like a shadow through the burning wreckage of Prime 66, his stolen Zalari blade humming softly in his grip. Around him, sirens wailed, the screams of dying aliens echoing through the station as explosives ripped through its core. Above, the Doombringer loomed like a monstrous god, its superweapon charging to fire. If it unleashed its energy beam, the entire station, and everyone still inside, would be erased from existence. Cade had one chance. His target was Overlord Malash, the Zalari warlord leading the hunt against the rebellion. If Malash fell, it would send a message across the Empire: no Zalari was untouchable. And right now, the Zalari bastard was sitting comfortably on his dreadnought, thinking he had already won. Cade intended to change that. Infiltrating the Doombringer. A stolen Zalari stealth skiff hummed to life inside Prime 66's docking bay. Cade barely had time to strap himself in before the launch sequence initiated. The small craft shot out of the crumbling station, weaving through the debris field toward the Doombringer's underside docking ports. The Zalari weren't expecting anyone to be insane enough to board a planet killer in the middle of a battle. That was their first mistake. The skiff latched onto an auxiliary airlock. Cade pried the hatch open and slipped inside. He was on the enemy's flagship. Now came the hard part. The path to Malash. Navigating the Doombringer was like moving through a living beast. Bioluminescent veins pulsed in the walls, feeding energy through the organic metal corridors. Zalari patrols moved in perfect formation, ****, until Cade disrupted that perfection, ****. He moved fast and brutally. A Zalari sentry turned a corner. Cade's blade sliced through its throat before it could scream. 2 guards patrolling the main junction? A well-placed plasma charge turned them into smoking husks. Cade hacked into a security console, scanning for Malash's location. The Overlord was in the command spire, overseeing the destruction of Prime 66. Cade smirked. Perfect. The Overlord's trap. Reaching the spire wasn't easy. Cade had to navigate through multiple security checkpoints, disable automated turrets, and slip past patrolling biodrones, horrific half-organic Zalari war machines. But as he entered the towering command chamber, something felt wrong. The room was empty. Too empty. Then he heard it. A deep, guttural laugh. The doors slammed shut behind him. Trapped. A shadow emerged from the upper balcony. Overlord Malash. The Zalari warlord was massive, easily 8 feet tall, his chitinous armor gleaming under the dim red lighting. He looked down at Cade with an almost amused expression. You think I did not anticipate this, human? Malash's voice was a deep rumble, vibrating through the chamber. You are bold. But boldness is not intelligence. You walked into your own execution, From the walls, hidden Zalari assassins emerged, elite warriors bred for one purpose, to kill, Cade exhaled. Of course, it was a trap. But Malash had made one mistake. Cade hadn't come to surrender. He had come to kill. The duel. The first assassin lunged. Cade sidestepped, driving his blade into its skull before it could react. 2 more attacked. He rolled low, ducking beneath their swings, then shot both in the head at point-blank range. Malash watched, intrigued. Impressive. But you are still just human, The warlord finally moved, fast, impossibly fast, and struck Cade with a bone-crushing blow, sending him crashing into the wall. Pain exploded in Cade's ribs. He barely had time to react before Malash was on him again, claws swiping for his throat. Cade dodged. Barely. This wasn't just a fight. It was a battle of survival. Malash was stronger, faster, and armed with a plasma glaive capable of slicing through steel. But Cade was human, and humans had one thing the Zalari didn't: the ability to adapt. Cade analyzed the warlord's movements, recognizing patterns. Malash was strong, but predictable, he relied on overwhelming power. Cade feinted left, then exploded right, slicing deep into Malash's side. The warlord roared in pain. The tide had turned. The death of an overlord. Bleeding and enraged, Malash launched into a final, desperate attack, ****, a reckless charge meant to crush Cade once and for all, ****. That was his last mistake. Cade sidestepped at the last second, activating a stolen Zalari pulse grenade and jamming it into Malash's exposed wound. Burn in hell, Cade dived for cover. Boom! Malash's body erupted in a fiery explosion, his monstrous form collapsing as flames consumed him. The Overlord was dead. Cade stood over the smoldering corpse. Not so predictable now, are you? The escape. The Doombringer trembled as explosions rippled through its structure. Cade's comms crackled to life. Cade. We've hacked the Doombringer's reactor. You have 60 seconds before it blows, ***. Cade sprinted through the burning corridors, dodging falling debris. He reached the docking bay just in time, leaping into an escape pod as the countdown reached 0. From space, he watched as the Zalari's greatest warship imploded, consumed by its own power. Malash was dead. The Doombringer was destroyed. And the rebellion had just won its biggest victory yet. The destruction of the Doombringer sent shockwaves across the galaxy. For the first time in history, the Zalari, ***, masters of war, architects of slavery, rulers of 1,000 worlds ***, had suffered a loss so devastating that their very empire trembled. Overlord Malash was dead. The Zalari's most powerful warship had been annihilated. And at the center of it all was a single human, Jonas Cade. Across the conquered worlds, news of the victory spread like wildfire. Human slaves rose up in defiance, slaughtering their Zalari masters and taking control of their own destinies. The rebellion was no longer just a whisper. It was a war. But Cade knew the truth, the Zalari would not accept defeat. Not yet. And what they did next would be their most desperate, most horrifying move yet. The Empire's final weapon. In the heart of Zalzoreth, the Zalari homeworld, the surviving warlords gathered. The High Command was in chaos, bickering, panicking, searching for a way to salvage their crumbling empire. But one voice silenced them all. Enough. The chamber went still. The speaker was Overlord Vexus, the oldest and most ruthless of the Zalari overlords. Unlike Malash, she was not a warrior, she was a strategist, a manipulator, a creature of cold logic and cruelty. And she had a plan. We cannot fight the humans as we have before, she said. They are unpredictable, irrational, dangerous. They fight not for conquest, but for something far more powerful, freedom, She sneered. So we will take that from them. A hologram appeared before the warlords, a monstrous, living weapon grown in secret beneath the blackened surface of a forgotten world. It was called the Harbinger. An ancient bioweapon, older than the Zalari Empire itself. A living entity engineered for one purpose, to eradicate entire species. The Harbinger had been locked away for millennia, deemed too dangerous to use. Now, the Zalari were ready to unleash it. With a wave of her clawed hand, Overlord Vexus gave the order. Let the humans see what true extinction looks like. The first attack. It began on Zenthra 4, a newly liberated human colony. One moment, the skies were clear. The next, they split apart. From the void, an unnatural black mist descended, swallowing entire cities in moments. People screamed as their bodies twisted, as their minds shattered into madness. And then, the Harbinger itself emerged. It was no ordinary creature. It was a shifting, ever-evolving nightmare, adapting instantly to any threat. Weapons were useless against it. Fire, plasma, explosives, nothing stopped its advance, Within hours, Zenthra 4 was gone. Not conquered. Consumed. The rebellion's desperation. When the survivors' distress signals reached the Revenant, Cade and his crew could hardly believe what they were hearing. What the hell are we dealing with? Vasquez asked, her face pale as she watched the footage. Leon Hayes shook his head. That thing, whatever it is, it's not just an attack dog, the Zalari aren't trying to enslave us anymore. They're trying to erase us. Cade clenched his fists. Then we stop it. No matter what it takes. But the rebellion's scientists had bad news. The Harbinger isn't just alive, said Dr. Anya Patel, the lead scientist aboard the Revenant. It's evolving. Every time we attack, it adapts. The more it fights us, the stronger it gets. Cade narrowed his eyes. Then we don't fight it like an enemy. He turned to the holomap, highlighting the Zalari homeworld. We take the fight straight to the ones controlling it. The invasion of Zalzorith. With no other choice, the rebellion launched its most audacious plan yet, an all-out invasion of the Zalari homeworld. If they could kill Overlord Vexus, they could sever the Harbinger's control link, leaving it vulnerable. But attacking Zalzorith was suicide. It was the most heavily fortified planet in the galaxy. The core of the Zalari Empire. Cade didn't care. They had one chance. The Revenant led a fleet of stolen Zalari warships, charging straight into the Empire's heart. The battle was chaos. Human pilots in alien fighters weaved through enemy formations, dodging plasma fire and returning death in kind. On the surface, Cade and his strike team fought their way through the Imperial Citadel, blasting through Zalari soldiers as alarms screamed through the city. They were close. Overlord Vexus was within reach. But then, a deep, inhuman growl echoed through the chamber. The Harbinger was here. The final stand. As the doors shattered apart, the monstrous entity descended into the throne room, its form constantly shifting, a grotesque fusion of flesh and shadow. It had no eyes, yet it saw everything. It had no mouth, yet it spoke directly into their minds. You cannot win. Cade gritted his teeth. We'll see about that. With Overlord Vexus cornered and the Harbinger looming, the rebellion faced its final battle. The fate of humanity would be decided here and now. The throne room of Zalzorith was a battlefield. Smoke choked the air, flames danced along the walls, and bodies, human and Zalari alike, littered the floor. At the center of it all, Jonas Cade stood, bloodied but unbroken, staring down the two greatest threats humanity had ever faced. To his right, Overlord Vexus, the mastermind of the Zalari Empire, cornered and desperate, her talons twitching in rage. To his left, the Harbinger, a shifting nightmare of shadow and flesh, its form pulsating as it whispered in a voice that drilled into his skull. You will kneel. Cade wiped blood from his lip and tightened his grip on his plasma rifle. Not today. The Harbinger unleashed. The creature lunged, its form warping in mid-air, tentacles snapping toward Cade like whips. He barely had time to react, rolling aside as a blackened claw slashed through the stone floor, melting it on impact. Vasquez and Leon opened fire from across the chamber, their shots ripping into the beast, but the Harbinger adapted instantly, its skin morphing to absorb the energy. It couldn't be harmed conventionally. Which meant they needed a new plan. We have to sever its link to the Zalari, Dr. Patel's voice crackled over the comms. It's being controlled from the Imperial core beneath the palace. If we shut it down, we can stop it, Cade's eyes flickered toward Vexus, and realization hit him like a shockwave. The Overlord wasn't running. She was controlling it. That meant she could die. Cade smiled grimly. Vasquez. Leon. Keep the thing busy. They nodded. Cade turned and charged straight at Vexus. The Overlord's last stand. Vexus snarled, raising her plasma staff, her golden battle armor glinting in the firelight. You dare challenge me, human? Cade didn't answer. He attacked. Their weapons clashed, plasma blade against staff, sparks flying as they fought. Vexus was faster, her movements honed from centuries of battle. But Cade was smarter. He feinted left, then drove his blade into her side. The Overlord screamed in pain. Cade twisted the blade, forcing her to the ground. He leaned in, breathing hard. "It's over." Vexus laughed, blood dripping from her lips. No, human. You still do not understand, Her eyes flashed, and the Harbinger roared, its power surging. Cade had seconds to act. So he did the only thing left to do. He grabbed Vexus's control implant, and ripped it from her skull. She shrieked as the device tore free, sparks flying as she collapsed, lifeless. And then, the Harbinger froze. Its body shuddered, its form unstable. And Cade saw his chance. Ending the Harbinger. Vasquez. Now. Vasquez and Leon fired everything they had, launching grenades, plasma rounds, railgun slugs, every ounce of firepower at their disposal. Without its link to the Zalari, the Harbinger couldn't adapt fast enough. It screeched, its form cracking, disintegrating, shadows peeling away as it tried to hold itself together. And then, a final explosive charge hit its core. Boom! The Harbinger imploded, its body collapsing inward as its energy scattered into nothingness. The nightmare was over. The Empire falls. Across the city, the moment the Harbinger died, the Zalari forces broke. Without their warlords, without their ultimate weapon, they had nothing left. From orbit, the rebellion fleet rained fire down on the Imperial Palace, tearing apart the last remnants of Zalari control. On the ground, human slaves, once cowering in fear, now rose up, seizing weapons and slaughtering their former masters. For centuries, humanity had been chained. Now, the chains were gone. They bow before us. The surviving Zalari, what few remained, surrendered, They were brought before the rebellion's high command, their once proud overlords and now kneeling before the very species they had enslaved. Cade stood before them, arms crossed. "You thought we were weak," he said. No one spoke. "You thought we were nothing more than servants." One of the Zalari hissed in defiance, but another, an elder, bowed his head. "You have proven us wrong." Cade stepped forward. "Damn right we have." He turned, looking at the broken remains of the Zalari Empire. And he smiled. Humanity had won. And now? It was their turn to rule. Epilogue, a new age. With the Zalari Empire broken, humanity rose from the ashes. No longer slaves. No longer prey. They expanded, taking the technology of their former masters and forging a new future. Some Zalari chose to serve humanity, seeking redemption. Others? They vanished into the void, nursing their wounds, waiting for a day when they might rise again. But that day was not today. Today belonged to the victors. To humanity. And as Jonas Cade stood on the bridge of the Revenant, staring out at the stars, he knew one thing for certain. They enslaved us. Now, they bow before us.